And in less than 30 seconds, this dog is already seen on body cam biting this guy who just woke up.
Painter unleashes the dog into the kitchen and calls it back.
Come out now!
Another 10 seconds go by, and Painter releases the canine again. Williams then walks out of a room with his hands up.
Imagine for a second having a police dog sicked on you for you being in a place that you're supposed to be in. So this guy, Derrick Williams, he was staying at his uncle's place when he was asleep at night, and then his uncle's girlfriend, who had recently moved out, she came by to get her stuff. She knocked on the door, she left, and then she apparently called police and told them there was a case of breaking and entering.
It happened in October 2022 at the River Forest Apartments, where Williams says he was living in his uncle's unit. According to police records, his uncle's ex-girlfriend came by to get her belongings, saw Williams in a bedroom, and called 911 to report someone in her house, which dispatchers logged as a breaking and entering. Williams says he did not know her and was sleeping at the time.
He figures he doesn't know who the person is, so therefore, he's going to go back to sleep. Now, when she called the police to tell dispatch that this was a case of breaking and entering, what she didn't tell the police was that she actually knew that the nephew was staying at the uncle's place. After he goes back to sleep, he's awoken by a second set of knocking on the door, which happens to now be the police. Now, they opened the door, and one of the officers, she identifies that there's a canine that's set to be released. And in less than 30 seconds, this dog is already seen on body cam biting this guy who just woke up.
This time, it was Chesterfield police officer Gordon Painter.
Police canine, speak to me now. Release a dog. Don't find to be bit.
As he was waking, Williams says he did not understand Officer Painter's commands.
I couldn't make anything out. I was still sleeping almost like, I don't know, it just felt abrupt.
After waiting for 16 seconds since that first command, Painter unleashes the dog into the kitchen and calls it back.
Come out now!
Another 10 seconds go by, and Painter releases the canine again. Williams then walks out of a room with his hands up.
Come on, stop coming to me! Come here! Come on, stop coming to me! Come here! Come to me! Come to me! Get on the ground!
So first off, they had the door open already. They weren't let in. 2, this officer's gun was already drawn. And 3, he released the dog without even finding out any information on the guy's behalf to find out if he's supposed to be there or not. There was zero investigation done. And even when in the body cam footage, you could see he walks out with his hands up, the dog has him gripped, but the officer's gun is being pointed. You could hear some of the foolish commands that are being issued while this man has the dog biting into his arm.
Come on, stop coming to me! Come here! Come on, stop coming to me! Come here! Come to me!
You can't be this dumb.
Come to me! Get on the ground! Get off! Let go! For no reason!
Well, I guess the plus side is they did him a solid. They didn't charge him with anything.
Right.
And of course, when they did their investigation, they realized that the girlfriend's name was on the lease and the uncle had given this guy a key so he was allowed to be there. I'm not an officer, but one would think that you would figure this all out if you knock the door, give the person a chance to answer the door. When they come to the door, you ask for identification and if they have permission to actually be in the residence. Now, if they say they do, then they could provide some proof. Maybe the key. Maybe he could call the uncle, the person whose name is also on the lease. There's a word for this that actually could have detoured anything in this manner from happening.
Took him to a hospital where he was treated for his injuries, and then he didn't hear from Chesterfield police again. Police reports show that after further investigation, officers learned that the lease was in Williams' uncle's ex's name, who had recently moved out, but the uncle had been paying the bills for over a year and gave a key to Williams to allow him to stay there. On the day of the incident, before the woman called 911,
the female actually spoke to the leasing office and stated that she knew her ex-boyfriend was letting someone move in, but she did not portray that to us at all.
Body cam video captured Chesterfield Police's on-site investigation.
Now, I get it. You get a phone call. They say there's a case of breaking and entering. You go with what dispatch told you. But then, don't you do your due diligence to figure out if what's being stated is actually what's being stated? One of the officers even knew this, and she even said that, imagine being bit by a dog for being in a place that you're supposed to be at.
The investigating officer clears Williams on scene and is then heard suggesting that the bite shouldn't have happened.
Can you imagine getting bit by a dog and you shouldn't have?
There are so many problems with how the police handled themselves in this case.
Williams' attorney, Philip Georges, has now filed a $2.5 million lawsuit in federal court against Officer Painter, alleging a violation of Williams' civil rights.
Excessive force was used when no crime was ever committed.
Georges claims that police did not vet the information they were given by the complainant and failed to comply with department policy, which states that physical canine contact can be, quote, a significant use of force and shall be done only in relatively serious situations and where lesser means of force are not available or reasonably practical.
There is no right or authority for that officer to have released that canine at all. He could have it on a leash to help him search, but he must be in maintained control of that animal at all times.
Yeah, I agree 100% with the lawyer, because when you watch the body cam, within the first couple of seconds, not even minutes, by the time they get there, they're already set to release the canine. He even warns them that there's a canine and you will be bit.
Release canine. Speak to me now. Release the dog. Don't find you be bit.
After waiting for 16 seconds since that first command, Painter unleashes the dog into the kitchen and calls it back.
Come out now.
Another 10 seconds go by, and Painter releases the canine again. Williams then walks out of a room with his hands up.
Come on, stop coming to me. Come here. Come on, stop coming to me. Come here. Come.
And of course, the department is giving their own pushback, with the lawyer stating that he was given commands over and over and over, and he never really responded. Let's say anyone grants you that one. Does that still justify the use of the police dog then? Yes or no?
The police officer used good verbal commands, repeated himself, was in communication with the unknown person who was in the house in terms of putting out a lot of verbal information.
Mark Bong is a defense attorney with experience representing police against criminal charges. He is not involved in this case, but says generally, officers' actions are influenced by dispatcher information, which could lead to the reasonable suspicion of a threat.
Well, this is a case where the police used a dog to bite a subject, and they lacked probable cause for an arrest. And the courts over the years in Virginia have looked at this situation several times, and surprisingly, the canine officer is on fairly firm ground legally for the use of the dog in this way.
Why do you say surprisingly?
I think because it raises some eyebrows anytime a dog is used to bite someone, but then an arrest doesn't follow.
The complaint also cites previous claims of excessive force against Officer Painter, including a settled case involving a 2019 traffic stop in which video shows Painter punching a driver, and an active case involving the 2023 deadly shooting of Charles Byers. Records we obtained show that Painter's unleashed canine also bit a woman along a nature trail in 2022, and the county paid $100,000 to the victim's lawyers.
So after you hear all that, does the next question that follows, isn't it, so why is this guy still on the force if he has a history? What about all the people that are around that bad apple and see it's a bad apple and still keep it around? Then what? There's another word for that too. It's called being complicit. So there's a lawsuit for compensatory damages in the range of about $2.5 million. So you're costing the city a lot of money as an officer. And even when all the other officers showed up, they were also trying to figure out, how did it get to this point so quickly? But do you notice how no one mentions the gun that was already drawn with no information gathered from the actual victim himself beyond what was given on dispatch? Was this just a mistake and he should have identified himself to the police quickly? Or can you not knock the door, give the guy a chance to answer the door, and then figure out what's what? Whatever your thoughts are, leave them in the comment section. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like, and I will see you again on the next one. Be easy, y'all.
In my opinion, we're in a position where this guy's in a sticky situation, right? Because we've let a dog in, he's been bit by a dog, and he's under the assumption he's allowed to be here, and we act on the information that